India, people performing different rituals, showcasing their cultural heritage, making each other happy and building each other up. India's first language and the utmost strength, unity. It was a cold winter evening dated back to 26 November of the year 1949. We are still obliged to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar for giving India the vehicle of life, where freedom is not mere concept, where fundamental rights stand tall, justice, liberty, fraternity, equality. The preamble says it all.
Our Constitution still stands tall and is the longest of all. It reads like a poem of democracy, paints like a rainbow, barred with supremacy. We are obliged, and we shall always be, to the architect and the composition where empowering people is a strong notion, where freedom has never been a mere concept. Good morning to our Honorable Headmistress, Sister Nita Fernandez, dear teachers and students.
Today, our Constitution has granted us freedom to live and breathe with dignity, respect, and honor as worthy citizens of India.
Our Constitution is the fundamental and the supreme law of India. The document lays down the framework that demarcates fundamental political code, structure, procedure, powers and duties of government institution, and sets out fundamental rights, directive principles and duties of citizens, which came into effect from 26 January 1950.
26 November, Constitution Day, also known as Samvidhan Divas, is celebrated to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India. I now request Ms. Shreya Ghazi to throw light on the introduction of the Constitution of India.
The Constitution of India is the supreme law of the land, the longest written constitution of any country on the earth. It took the Constituent Assembly a little less than 3 years to draft this monumental document. The Assembly adopted the Constitution of India on 26th of November 1949 and it came into effect on 26th of January 1950. The preamble, which commences with magical words, "We, the people of India," captures the lofty spirit of our Constitution. India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic, ensures the dignity of the individual and the unity and the integrity of our nation. The nation recognizes justice, liberty, and equality as basic principles of a citizen's life and seeks to promote fraternity among them. Being born as an Indian is a blessing, and Constitution Day is one such occasion to celebrate our Indianness. We shall now witness the enthroning of our Constitution and pay homage to our Constitution makers and salute every Indian who has contributed to make India a better place for generations to come.
We, the people of India,
Now we request our Honorable Headmistress, Sister Nita Fernandez, to do the honors.
hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Thank you, sister. Let us offer a prayer on this special day, thanking God for having blessed us, the people of India, in innumerable ways, and especially for the gift of our Constitution. Now, I request Teacher Sonia to lead us in prayer.
Almighty God, bless India, our country, and make it true to the ideals of freedom, justice, brotherhood for all. Sanctify our leaders with vision and courage to govern wisely in upholding our Constitution and in uprooting corruption at all levels. Make us aware of our heritage and our constitutional rights, as well as our obligation and duties as citizens of our country. May we be committed to tackle the serious ills of society in sincerely dealing with corruption, crime, caste-based politics, greed, pollution, malnutrition, illiteracy, exploitation of the marginalized, child labor, female infanticide, and prevent environmental degradation. Lord, guard us from the threats of violence, religious discrimination, social disharmony, and terrorism, and make our country a land of peace, justice, equality, and fraternity. Amen.
Having prayed and listened to the preamble and understood the meaning of the Constitution and the values enshrined in it, we shall now see how the Constitution was framed. Let us take a look into the Constituent Assembly elected to frame the Constitution of India, formed after India became independent on 15th August 1947, which worked tirelessly to give us this Constitution. It constituted of 299 members, Dr. Rajendra Prasad being the President of the Constituent Assembly. Some of the well-known members of the Constituent Assembly were Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, S.N. Mukherjee, Sarojini Naidu, Hansaben Mehta, and others. The noted legal expert B.N. Rao was appointed as the constitutional advisor on legal matters. The Assembly met for the first time in New Delhi on 9 December 1946. The hope of the Assembly was expressed by Jawaharlal Nehru. Let's watch.
The first task of this assembly is to free India through a new constitution, to feed the starving people and to clothe the naked masses, and to give every Indian the fullest opportunity to develop himself according to his capacity. This is certainly a great task. Look at India today. We are sitting here and there is despair in many places and unrest in many cities. The atmosphere is surcharged with these quarrels and feuds, and unfortunately, we sometimes cannot avoid them. But at present, the greatest and most important question in India is how to solve the problem of the poor and the starving. Wherever we turn, we are confronted with this problem. If we cannot solve this problem soon, all our paper constitution will become useless and purposeless. Keeping this aspect in view, who could suggest to us to postpone and wait?
The last session of the Assembly was held on 24th January 1950.
Honorable President, sir, I present the outline of the Constitution prepared by the drafting committee and request the Assembly to think about it and suggest amendments.
Honorable President, I am one of the persons in the Parliament who knows how much effort Dr. Ambedkar has taken to prepare the draft of the Constitution. I hope the Assembly is aware that out of the 7 members involved in the drafting committee, 1 resigned and no one was appointed in his place. 1 member was in America and his place too remained vacant. 1 more member was busy with the state affairs and even his place was vacant. 2 members were out of Delhi and could not participate due to ill health. Finally, it happened so that the task of preparing the draft are to be shouldered by Dr. Ambedkar. We are indebted to him for the Herculean task of drafting the Constitution.
The honor given to me is not mine alone. Some part of it is to be given to B.N. Rao, who is the legal expert and the constitutional advisor of legal matters. Also, the credit should be given to the members who contributed in preparing the rough draft of the Constitution. Much great share must be given to S.N. Mukherjee, the chief draftsman of the Constitution. On the 26th of January 1950, India would be a democratic nation in true sense. India from that day would have the government of the people, by the people and for the people.
Speaking about the importance of the Constitution, let me tell you, it lays out certain ideals that form the basis of the kind of country that we as individuals aspire to live in. It tells us about the fundamental nature of the society. Fundamental rights are guaranteed by the Constitution. It ensures that the minorities are not being suppressed by the dominant groups. The Constitution is to protect us from ourselves.
Certainly, it also provides guidelines to govern decision-making process in society and safeguard the citizens against the misuse of the power by the leaders.
So, I would like to tell the people, the Constitution plays a significant role as it reflects the ideals of the country as well as defines the nature of a country's political system.
May I add, the values embedded in the Constitution are universal, human and democratic of the modern age.
It now remains to put the motion moved by Dr. Ambedkar to the vote of the House. The question is, the Constitution settled by this Assembly be passed.
I.
The motion is adopted. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
I personally feel whatever amount of goodness lies in the Constitution, it would be a failure if it falls in the wrong hands. Rather, however faulty the Constitution may be, it would prove successful if it goes in the hands of right administrators.
Dr. Ambedkar presents the Constitution in the Constituent Assembly. Dear students, it took 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to complete the writing of the Constitution. This is how the Constitution was framed and put forth for the people as a living document. There are 22 parts, 395 articles and 8 schedules in the original Constitution. Thank you.
Peace of mind produces right values. Right values produce right thoughts. Right thoughts produce right actions, says Mark Richardson. When values, thoughts, feelings and actions are in alignment, a person becomes focused, shows resilience, deals with challenges and strives for excellence in all that he does. One such personality who stands true to this is none other than our headmistress, Sister Nita Fernandez. Sister Nita believes in upholding the constitutional values for a democratic country like India to prosper and lays emphasis in instilling the same in her students who would be the future citizens of this vast nation. It is indeed an honor to listen to her on this occasion. I now invite Honorable Susanita Fernandez to guide us.
A very happy Constitution Day to all of you, my dear students, and I wish the same for all my countrymen and women. Indeed, it's a day to rejoice and feel proud of our Indianness and our belonging to this country, which is affirmed by the Constitution. You and I are an integral part of this nation, which is governed and must be run on the principles enshrined in the Constitution. The Constitution does not belong to any individual or to a political party or to a group of people. It belongs to all of us because we belong to this nation. Do you like flowers? When someone hands you a bouquet, you keep admiring at the variety of flowers that are there in the bouquet, and it brings a smile on your face. Today, there is a smile on our faces because we are a free nation, free from foreign rule. At the same time, the principles enshrined in the Constitution allow us to live freely, to speak freely, to reside wherever we want, to communicate with anybody we want to gather together to celebrate various festivals, to travel throughout India, appreciating the monuments, the architecture, the culture, and the people of India. It is like a bouquet of flowers that brings a smile on our faces. Students, you already witnessed how the Constitution was framed and the amount of hard work that went into framing the Constitution with the idea of allowing future generations to continue to express freedom, to live in freedom, to work in freedom, to develop in freedom, to make progress as a nation in freedom. This is an important part of our life as a nation. One might wonder, why are we harping so much on the Constitution? Because today we see that the political parties in our countries are trying to rule us, not govern us. We are to be governed, not ruled, because we are a free nation. And the basis of the governance lies on the principles and the values enshrined in the Constitution. Are we truly free today? Are we truly equal in the eyes of the law? Are we truly free to carry on the economic activities that we want to and reside wherever we want to, or celebrate whatever religious festival we want to? Looking at the state of our country, one must begin to reflect and see why all the more we require to live by the principles and the values enshrined in our Constitution. You might think, you are so small, why do you need to look at the Constitution? Whether you are small or big, you are a part of this great nation which has a great heritage, and where thousands and lakhs of people who loved this country sacrificed their life, not only to free it non-violently from the hands of the British rule, but also the Constitution framers kept in mind every class of people who would need the support of the Constitution to grow and to develop. And that's why we need to abide by what is written in the Constitution. And since we elect the governments, we must also remind our leaders that they are not here to rule us. They are here to govern the country. The administration must go on in such a manner that all classes of people, all communities of people, all regions receive the same dignity, same rights, and the same freedom to make progress, to develop, to live happily. And that's why you need to know why the Constitution is so important. And this day brings to us this importance. Like a bouquet of flowers, there are different sections in the Constitution which add more and more meaning to our life as a nation. And it adds beauty because we are a diverse community, yet we live united. So it's like a bouquet. People in the country, the common people, ordinary people, have no problem with each other. It is only the vested interests which have problem with others, other communities. And so they set about discriminating, dividing, putting up fights and quarrels. But this is not what the fathers of our nation and the constitution builders envisioned. So let us resolve evermore to keep this country united, to give the equality and the rights that every person must enjoy in this country, no matter to what language, caste, color, religion each one belongs. I pray and wish that each of you becomes a strong believer in freedom, equality, fraternity, justice, and brotherhood. This is the only way of going forward together as a nation and making a mark in the world. May God bless us all. God bless you. Continue to follow the importance of the Constitution.
Thank you, sister, for enlightening us on living the constitutional values to become good human beings and future leaders of this democratic nation.
Awake, my country. Awake, my country, my father, into that heaven of freedom. Awake, my country. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Gari 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 ga pa mari sari 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 ma ga sani 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 sa gari ni pa ma pa. Gari 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 ga pa mari sari 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 ma ga sani 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 sa gari ni pa ma pa. Where knowledge is free, sani reza gari maga pama dhapa sani dhapa, sani reza gari maga pama dhapa sani dhapa. fenced by narrow domestic walls. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Where words come out from the depth of truth. Sani pama pani sa, re sa ni pa ni sa re, ga 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 ma re re ni sa. Sani pama pani sa, re sa ni pa ni sa re, ga 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 ma re re ni sa. Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit. Where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Let my country awake. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Let my country awake. Let